Hello and welcome to Beyond the Scale, Weight Loss and Wellness. I'm your host, Coach Monica. I'm joined today by Coach Darcy, and we are here to guide you through the ins and outs of a lifestyle that's transformed not just our lives, but the lives of countless women navigating the waves of perimenopause and menopause. Whether you're here to shed weight, understand your body better, or simply find a community that gets it, you're in the right place. So sit back and enjoy the next few minutes as we tackle the hot issues of today.
Hi.
Good morning, everybody. We had to leave the building before we came in today.
It was like an April Fool's in November. Oh, wait, we already went through that. Cool.
So we just had this discussion about women working in the workplace in the men's world. And I was explaining how my mentor, Congresswoman Jackie Walorski, always said, you lead with strength. You never admit. You never cry in public. You lead with strength, which was the core issue of all of my health problems because I did lead with strength. All right.
Yes.
I got very, very unhealthy. And so we started the show leading with
strength.
Oh gosh.
Don't say anything because we can't. We're not gonna do it. You just told me not to.
I know. Don't ever admit your weaknesses, right? Well, good morning. Good morning, everybody.
I haven't seen your face in a really long time.
I am physically.
Hey, wait, don't say it.
Exhausted happy. I'm physically wiped out. I have
you've been working
so
hard.
much on my plate right now, but it's all good things. It's all good things, and it's leading us to greatness, and it's leading our clients out of where they've been, and it's all good. I spent Saturday. I'm a hunting widow, and I love Saturdays because I get to do whatever the heck I want. Well, this Saturday I didn't even get dressed at all. I just went to my office, got my coffee, and I did 14 reports for our accreditation. Yeah, and
that's exciting.
I heard back from them today. They got my materials. They're going through my program, and I looked at our program, and I'm like, you know what? We see it sometimes at an eye level because we see it and we work with it every day.
Yeah.
When you look at it from an accreditation level, I'm like, we have a darn good program.
Absolutely.
It is a really solid program. And so the particular program that I worked on my accreditation for is to certify coaches. And so we are announcing a carnivore certification and we're announcing a keto certification, and we're going to combine those two and you'll be able to get double certified.
I'm excited for that. I think that's really important in my opinion. As one of your students.
Yeah.
Am I a student? Or am I
student turned professional? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
as that I am. I really do believe that having both of those is going to be super beneficial. Even if you think carnivore is the only way, the truth in the life.
Right. Or keto even.
Or keto, you know, you've got to open your horizon to some of these things. We've experienced it.
Yeah.
I'm just reading right now about certain things. In this,
can we talk about that tapioca tapioca?
Yes, I'm about to. Because
angry.
My whole thing with my psoriasis, and I'm trying to find the root cause of what's wrong with me. And somebody said, don't ever say what's wrong with you. But I'm like, this is what my body's doing. My body's not liking something. And yes, I may have been born like this because it's an autoimmune disease. It's what you get it genetically like that. But there's a reason for your body attacking yourself. It's you've got the chronic inflammation, and that's exactly what psoriasis is doing. Is attacking itself and creating the white blood cells are making too much, and because it senses that there's some inflammation in your body, and so I'm learning a whole lot. But in the same breath, I'm learning that there are certain foods
Mhm.
that we just can't handle, and some
Mhm.
people might. Some people might be able to handle the certain foods that I can't handle. My body doesn't like.
Well, it
But
depends on your goals too.
yeah,
Weight loss versus chronic disease and
yes,
health.
right. And a lot, most, and I would say this is just my observation. The majority of people, it's all about let me feel skinny,
Mhm.
let me be able to look good in in these clothes or in my own skin, and not
Mhm.
really focus on the metabolical part, which is more important than because I'm
Truly.
reading the Unholy Trinity, and this is where I am grabbing my information from. And I've known about wheat. I know
Mhm.
if it has wheat, we don't
We
eat.
don't eat, right.
But when you're entering into the keto world, you're searching out, like-minded type of foods, or
Mhm.
like tasting type of foods. And that is where in the keto world there are these companies that like to create things so you are still addicted to the object, like bread.
Mhm.
Keto bread it still has wheat in it.
Yeah.
And the reason why wheat is so bad is because it does spike your glucose,
Mhm.
and which spikes your insulin. It turns into sugar, and it's not good for your body.
Yeah.
That's
Not to
the
mention the inflammatory properties of it.
exactly. And so then I was reading, like I knew that, but then he was talking about how there are few other foods that raise your blood sugar higher than wheat. And I was like, oh, really?
What are they?
So, get this. Um, it is cornstarch, which is
That's
that's
normal. Yeah.
cornstarch. It's normal. Um, Tapioca starch. That one, that one got me.
Yeah.
Rice flour and potato flour. Now,
Mhm.
these foods have something in common, which they're all in these gluten-free
Yep.
foods. So, if you are gluten intolerant and you're going to gluten-free foods and yet you're still trying to lose weight,
Mhm.
and you're
Well,
wondering why
yeah.
it's
There's a
not
problem.
working, there's a problem.
Well, and our folks that struggle, say with food addiction or just snacking in general, they're all excited that these quote keto products don't have the other three things you said, and they
Yeah,
just completely bypass the tapioca starch.
yeah.
Oh, tapioca starch must be keto. No, it actually spikes your sugar more than wheat
Wheat!
does.
That one blew my mind, because the reason why that one blew my mind, because I am an avid ingredient reader.
Mm-hmm.
I look at every ingredient because I'm a macro coach and I wanna know what everybody's eating and what the product is, and there's things out there that they're putting out in their macros nowadays, and I'm like, "I've never heard of this before."
Yeah.
Um, which is considered keto, but
Right.
it's got tapioca starch in it. Like, all of these products have tapioca starch. So if
Yeah.
you think that you're eating a keto product, this is why we are
Yeah.
super advocates for think simple.
Yeah.
Convenience is not always convenient if you're
No.
trying to lose the weight.
Convenience is killing us.
It is killing us. Yeah, it really is. So that one just was, in my reading world, that was a just a
Yeah.
mind blower.
Yeah.
Just
Well, like you said, they come up with all of these different kinds of foods. Well, when we look at them, we're like, well, what's the scale telling you? Is the scale falling? And typically, when they're eating this keto crap, the scale doesn't move.
yeah.
And so it really is important to know what you're putting in your body. Is it really they call us the keto police. We're that way for a reason because
Yeah.
number one, we have lost nearly 200 pounds between the two of us. And we know what we're talking about. We know what
Yeah.
works and we know what doesn't work. I always say, well, when I have a client arguing with me about, well, I let myself eat this, or it's just a banana,
Yeah.
or it's just a grape, or and
This is Whole Foods.
it's
The
whole
God
foods.
created it.
Right.
In fact, God did not create the fruit that we have in the
Right.
grocery stores.
Yeah. And those same people are stalled on the scale, and I'm like, "Well, how's that working for you?
Right.
You can do what you want. You can take our advice or you can throw our advice in the trash, but how's it working for you? How is
Right.
that scale falling? How are you healing the insulin resistance? How are you lowering your A1C? How's it working for you? There is this new trend, and I talk with a lot of coaches. I love talking with coaches.
Yeah.
Shout out to Christine. I love you.
Yeah.
Um, I think it was Christine I was talking to. She was a guest a couple of weeks ago on our podcast. Um, I have a new trend, and I don't know if you have it with your new clients that come in. Clients that come in, and I use the word client loosely because they're really not a client if they're not doing
Right.
what the program says. But they'll come
They're their
in
own
and they'll
boss.
say, "Well, this worked for me in the past. I have my own meal plan, and and I want to follow this." And they're telling us, "Okay, I want to do this." And I'm like, why do you need us then? It's a fad or something coming. People are being overeducated, and I can empathize with that because you and I went through it.
Oh, yeah.
Overeducating ourselves, and hey, this person said this person said this, and you don't know what
Yeah.
to believe at the end. At the
Yeah.
end of the day, you want to look at the person who it worked, right? Who
Yeah,
lost the weight?
and it's keeping it off.
Who's
Like, it's
keeping it
not
off? Right.
not that you lost the weight, 100 pounds in a year, yeah, but did you keep it off?
Right.
You are
Yeah.
a testimony for that because it's 7 years going on 8 now.
Yeah.
Like, you have kept that weight off.
Yeah.
Now, has our weight fluctuated over the
Absolutely.
Absolutely has.
Yep.
But that's the thing where we depend on I mean, we go through stages with our food
Mhm.
choices. Before, at the very
Yeah.
beginning, yeah, we utilized, like, Kiss My Keto, like,
Mhm.
at that and then they sold to another
Oh my
company. Like, these
gosh.
companies keep selling to companies.
Right.
Um, yeah, their hearts are in the right place to make food for us, but in the end, like, when you're sticking maltodextrin in things because it's a flavor enhancer,
Yeah.
who cares about the flavor
Yeah.
when this is affecting us and also causing people allergic reactions?
Yeah. Well,
And
and that there's a solution for that. It's just a little
right,
more expensive for those companies. They don't want to
right,
use guar gum instead of maltodextrin.
right.
Speaking of which, we're still pretty ticked at LMNT, and we do not support them anymore because they're hiding it. Here's the thing, guys.
It's wait,
Everybody comes to
it's
us.
not just LMNT
No,
now.
that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
Everybody
okay,
comes
okay.
to us with this
Yeah.
picture of this brand.
Yes.
I had 5 last week. What about this, Monica? What about this? When we're telling them salt has no maltodextrin and no, what's the other one?
Relight.
No, Lift.
Oh,
What is
lift?
that? There's one other one that I'm thinking of. I can see it. Aft. It's in my Facebook feed. Anyway,
Okay.
here's the thing. Even if those other companies, for example, Relight, right?
Mhm.
They don't have maltodextrin. Here's the thing, folks. LMNT did not have maltodextrin listed. You have to actually email the companies. People are sending me products. Oh, Monica, I found one with no maltodextrin. That's the problem. That's the problem is these companies are not disclaiming it and not putting it in their ingredients.
Right.
And so you have to actually email the owner of the company and say, which we found 2, and I will remember it after our live, but it's a black container and it's like I don't know. But salt from Kiss My Keto,
Yeah.
they make their flavor enhancers because what they're saying is true. You have to attach something, and that's the powder. Anything powder has maltodextrin in it because you've got to attach
Natural
that
flavors.
flavor
Yeah.
to the actual product. Well, salt, Marianne, SALTT from Keto Chow, and
That's
there's
the
this
only
other
one.
one.
There
There's one more.
this other one, but we really?
Yeah, yeah. I saw it in writing and they said, "No, we do not use
Um,
maltodextrin."
good.
Um, and maybe
Now,
if I type it in my feed, electrolytes.
I would say, like, when you're talking about electrolytes, in LMNT, now they do have the sparkling drinks, and they say that they do not need to put it in the sparkling drinks that they have.
Right. If it's liquid, they tend to not need because there's no binder.
Right.
Um,
So, if you still wanna support LMNT, that's probably gonna be your only option, but I'm not until they change it.
yeah.
I don't know if that's called
Yeah.
boycotting.
It is.
Um,
It's telling them to get real with their
yeah,
clients and with their people because here's the other thing. We have clients who are not worried about the caloric impact and not worried about the
right.
scale stalling, and they are allergic to corn.
Yeah,
Maltodextrin is made of corn.
yeah.
So if I find that I'll message you today because
I mean,
there's 2 that we found, but you can't just go by the labels.
nope, no. The other safe zone is getting a good,
Mhm.
good pink Himalayan salt or even Celtic salt.
Yeah. And it's
Some of
cheaper.
the Himalayan salts have microplastics in them, so you need to make sure that it's a good quality and you know where that is coming from if that's something that you're concerned about.
Mhm.
Like, again, we learn too much. We know too much.
Yeah.
But this is like, it is also really important. Had I known about like this, I've always wondered about tapioca starch. I'm like, I
Yeah.
wonder if since all of these keto products are using it, I'm assuming that it's
Mhm.
all good. You
Yeah.
can't assume things, y'all. You
'Cause
got to
it's
do your
not corn,
research.
it's not wheat, right?
Right. I have no idea what it is,
Yeah.
honestly. But apparently it's not good.
Yeah.
Your cauliflower crust pizzas, y'all, like, yes, that might be, this is where I
Mm.
was talking about, we could talk about progress over
Mhm.
perfection. But if you're eating this stuff all the time, if you're
Mhm.
going out and having cauliflower crust pizza all the time,
Yeah.
you're more than likely gonna struggle.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not gonna be good for
Well, and
you.
if people are honest with themselves, they're out eating out more likely more than not.
Yeah.
So it's not like, hey, I think of the Jeeps on Meridian, for example.
Mhm.
When we do that once a year, there's a place that we go that
Yeah.
has really yummy cauliflower crust. You
Yeah.
and I know that that's probably not clean, right? It's not.
Right.
It's not. But we have that day knowing that that's the best choice they have there.
Yes.
The difference between that and what most people do is most people do that a couple times a week,
Mhm.
or they'll go out once a week and they'll
Yeah.
get that cauliflower crust and then they'll wonder, why is the scale not
Yeah.
dropping? There may not be wheat in there, but there's something in there and it's
Yes.
not clean.
And
So,
there's another perspective here is when you are focusing on weight loss, then your focus should solely be, making sure everything, and this could be the wrong thought process, but for me,
mhm,
I was focused. Nothing could veer me from
mhm,
adding anything, any junk, unless I didn't know about it.
mhm,
To lose my weight. I was
mhm.
so focused. And
Yeah.
then when I got into a maintenance mode, I was maybe a little bit less strict on myself, but that kind of bit me in the butt.
Mhm.
It bit me in the butt even in maintenance, because
Yeah.
that's where when we talked about the weight gain,
Yeah.
that can happen if you are
Mhm.
not holding yourself accountable.
Yeah.
So it just shows you, when you let that stuff in,
Right.
it just sneaks up on you.
It does.
But every now and again, like, we purposely knew that we were gonna be kicked out of the state of ketosis. We knew
Mhm.
that was the case, but we chose the better choice.
Right.
And then we yeah. So
So
anyway, I won't go into
when
that.
we say progress over
Yeah.
perfection, we really mean that.
Yeah.
However, if we're doing progress over perfection every single day,
Mm.
you're not going to get to your goal. If
No.
you allow yourself to have cheat days and you're a addict, I can tell you the end of your story.
Mhm.
Like, I loved our weight loss support group yesterday because we did talk about this, about progress over perfection. And sometimes we can have one extreme or the other. We can have somebody who's so stinking afraid to make a wrong choice that
Yes.
she's so stressed out, or he's so stressed out that he raises his cortisol, and nothing is ever perfect enough. And then we go to the other side where that person says, well, I allow myself to have this.
Mhm.
Let me tell you, if you're a food addict, you cannot allow yourself to have it.
No.
There's no moderation. So you go extremely, to the other side of being a food addict and allowing yourself, or you stay in the middle and say, well, I'm going to allow myself to have this, and you don't lose weight.
Right.
If you're focused on weight loss and you wonder what's going on, we eat more than we think we do, number 1, and we cheat more than we think we do.
Mhm.
The first bite, lick, or taste can really send you off a cliff. It
Yeah.
can send you to destroy your weight loss journey. But the thing of it is, and how it happens and how the thousands of pounds are regained, is because it doesn't happen overnight. Now, the people coming off the shot, it's happening overnight. You're
Yeah.
regaining 5 pounds a week the minute you come off that shot. And that's a crisis there, because we're seeing it happen now that the shot's been out a while. We're seeing horrifying stories of people. If you are planning on taking the shot, losing the weight, and not wanting to spend $1,000 a month anymore, and coming off the shot, please do not get rid of your big clothes, because you're not going to need them again. We
I've
like our
never heard you
clients.
say that.
We like
Those
our
are
clients getting rid of our clothes because we're never going back. right? We're never going back. If you're on the shot or if
Ah,
you're on a starvation diet like Octavia, don't
yeah.
get rid of your big clothes because you're going to need them again. I'm sorry. I say it how it is. It's the truth.
Yeah.
You gain 5 pounds a week back when you come off of the shot, unless you do it right. Now, there's a way. If you're on the shot, don't freak out on me. There's a way for you not to do it. You have to be very, very strategic. We got to reverse your diet and we got to get your metabolism healed.
Mhm.
So don't freak out on me. There is a way out if you've chosen that road. You're not broken. Everything is okay. Just know that you're going to need help getting out of those.
Yeah. What was
Yeah.
I made a post today, and I thought it was a pretty good post. I'm
Yeah.
gonna go over to it real quick. It says, um, I gave him a truth serum time. I said, "You can't
Oh,
metabolically be where you want to be until you get rid of the things that are causing your health to be toxic." The toxicity meaning those crap foods, the
mm-hmm.
convenience,
Mm-hmm.
and this is why diets don't work.
Mm-hmm.
Short term thinking, hoping for long term results.
Mm-hmm.
That is called denial.
Right.
Still
Yeah.
battling with all these. I listed all the chronic inflammation, the things that type 2 diabetes, and there's a reason why those haven't left you if you are on a
Right.
diet.
Right. Yeah.
We
I
can't do that.
hope, I hope RFK is going to lead the way in that.
Yeah.
I really hope. I really hope that, right now everything's up in there. What's he going to do? What are we going to do? People are flipping out over losing their Diet Coke. Number
Yeah.
one, I don't even think he's ever talked about Diet Coke, but people are, and those little Debbie's, people I'm seeing, and some of it's parody. I'm
It
seeing
is.
people just in tears over losing Red Dye 40.
I have
Doesn't matter if
not
it gives you cancer.
I am so surprised at that viewpoint, honestly.
I
I've
I am
never
not.
I mean, I guess there's the idea of like, yes, we are addicted to those toxins.
Mhm.
Like we're sad. We're thinking that they're just no longer gonna make these products. And some of these products
Sad is the word.
probably huh?
Yeah. Sad is the word.
Yeah.
I'm sad for them,
I am. Yes.
but not
Um
surprised
I
that there's backlash.
I still am. I'm still like
Looking at the convenience world that we are in, looking at how we would literally sacrifice 10 years off of our life in order
yeah,
to eat this way. I
it's
see
so
it.
true.
I
Okay.
see people doing that. And it makes me sad, but maybe I'm a little more pessimistic than you.
I think I well, you might be. I
Probably
don't
am.
know. I think it's though like I think the extremists are thinking, "Oh, they're just going to stop making these foods now. Now we're never
Right.
going to have
Right.
little Debbie's anymore." Well,
No, you can have
listen,
little
those
Debbie's.
those countries overseas, they still make those products.
They
They
just
just
use food.
use good food. They don't use chemicals. So
Yeah.
that's where people are misinformed where they're thinking, "Oh, we're never going to have Fruit Loops again
Yeah.
because they've tried so hard to kick this out of our world and now we can't have this and
Yeah.
you're going to get rid of Diet Coke and all these things." I'm
Ugh.
like, "Listen,
Listen,
I'm
Linda.
sure if you've been over this overseas and you've had the same product over
Yeah.
there, you would think this tastes so much better. Like, why
Yes.
does this taste so much better?"
So
Well,
if I was a marketing agent for these companies, I would stop complaining. I would stop wasting my breath complaining and I'd be figuring out plan B. I did that for my company,
mhm,
for this company. Before the election, I had plan A and plan B depending on who
yeah,
won this election because if we were going down the poor road, if we were going down the road with people with no money, I had to change my program.
yeah,
And I had to cut services because the work that we put into our clients every single day is more work than we could do on a crashing country
yeah, yeah,
economically.
yeah,
And so I had a plan A and a plan B depending on what, am I going to keep my gold standard program or am I going to have to cut it? So these programs or these companies, Kellogg's better be at the drawing board right now and act as
I
if
mean,
these chemicals are dyed. What are we going to do? What's plan B
you know
for us?
what? It sounds like it may sound too simple, but maybe you would ask your neighbors, "Hey,
Yeah.
what do you guys put in your cereal?"
Let's go to Canada, Let's
I
go
mean,
see what
Canada is
Canada.
not very far away.
No,
I would think
I'm
that
sure they'd let
one
you in for a while.
maybe
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, that just may sound like a
But
simple
see, Canada,
solution.
how do you squeeze watermelon juice out of the
Oh, darn
watermelon
it.
to flavor your Fruit Loops?
I don't yeah.
Huh, and not that Canada's perfect. They've got their own
No,
issues over there.
yeah.
But
I wouldn't say
yeah,
like
they're ahead of
anybody.
us.
Yeah,
They're ahead of us and what they allow to go in their body over there.
yeah. The
So,
price of
seems to
things
me
the price of things may go up because
yeah,
it might cost a little bit more to make these actual
maybe the
food
cost of fruit
items.
will go down.
And maybe, I don't know.
Maybe
Like,
it
that's
won't be cheaper to buy a bag of chips than it is a pint of strawberries. Imagine that.
imagine that. I don't
That's the
even
problem we have. It's $1 for a bag of chips that's
mhm.
gonna take 10 years of your off your life, $5 for a pint of strawberries.
We're mad at the rich for being richer, but we're feeding the rich
We are
because
feeding
by
the rich.
buying by
I hate this space that I'm in because you know how much I like boxes. I
I
love boxes. I
know,
love to
I
live in this
know.
little nice little conservative. I'm not even conservative anymore, according to my conservative friends. I'm not liberal. What am I? Where do I belong?
We just kind of float in the middle. I've
I
always
belong with
said
our founders.
I believe in the
Freedom.
freedoms and making sure that the common sense part makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah. But it is scary for me because I like boxes. I like to tell
Yeah,
you who I am and what
yeah.
boxes I belong to because then you find your people. I don't have any people right now because I belong on both sides.
I'm with you. I really am. But people like
Oh,
to label me as such because
oh yeah.
so
Oh
they
yeah.
already box you into whatever they want you to be
People
in.
box you in. Yeah.
They
That's why
like,
I'm so
"You don't
vocal.
know me."
That's why I'm so vocal, and I'm not afraid of people on Facebook. I'm
Uh,
not afraid of my detractors because if I don't define myself, the other side will define me, and I don't give you that permission in my life to define me. I'm going to tell you who I am.
right.
So
I'm a so if you know anything about the Enneagram, some people see that as an occult, so
yeah,
I'm
I'm
sorry
one of
if you
those.
well, I'm a 4 on the Enneagram, which doesn't say who I am, but it says who I typically fit into the category of personality-wise. It's
Are you a
kind of
people
like,
pleaser?
um, I
Because
used
you
to
get your
be.
feelings hurt a
I
lot.
do. I used to, and I still kind of depends on the day. I do care what people,
Yeah,
have to say,
yeah,
but initially, I'm like,
hmm
"Eh, I don't like to throw my pearls before it's swine anymore." So I stand by that motto.
yeah.
But people don't know me unless they sit down with me and drill me and, like, ask me who I am.
hmm
That's where I think that,
Yeah, I could see
that's a
that you
type
live
4.
there, but I also
Yeah.
saw what happened in this election, and when the brave people stood up, I saw thousands of minds changed, and so
Yeah.
that's why I'm like, "Hey, come out of your box. Come out of your
Yeah.
box," because
Oh, yeah.
you never know what you might say, the quiet ones who don't fight back and who don't bully you on Facebook, which I just
Right.
delete those people. I don't allow toxic people in my life. I just hit delete. Send them on their way. But those people that are quiet, those are the people that you're changing their minds. And those are
Mhm.
the people who are listening to you, even if
Yeah.
they don't speak up because they're afraid.
Yeah.
So
But
I
that's
don't
why
know.
we speak up about our food system
Oh
because
yeah.
we know how it affects us. We have the data to
Yeah.
prove how our obesity percentages have gone up over the past since the 1950s. Like,
Yeah.
and it started from smoking. Like, I learned
Yeah.
that today too.
Oh, these
But it's
doctors are
oh
mad.
my
Are
goodness.
you over on X? I spend a lot of my day on
No.
X because I want to know what the other side is saying.
Yeah.
Those doctors are flipping out, and I will not hesitate to comment on any of theirs and say, well, how's it working for you? How is your
Right.
death care system working for you? Because we are the most unhealthy we've ever been, and yet you
Yeah.
are the most educated, and we have the most medicine.
And we
How's it working? It's not working.
It's not working. Something's not working and the data shows it. Like
Yeah,
that's where I stand in the political world, in the food science world. Like I
not
see the
working.
data
Yeah,
and when things start to decrease, then come tell me.
come
Then
back.
come talk to me and say, "Well, see look what we did here.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's decreasing."
Yeah,
And you can't tell me that there's less people at the hospitals when the parking
no,
lot is completely full every single day and you
no.
can't find a parking spot.
Cancer and heart disease,
It's not
diabetes is through the roof and it's going up. If
yeah.
you had the answers in pharma, if you had those answers, that trend would be going down. It is
Yeah.
not. It's going up.
Millions of dollars, billions and trillion I don't even know. I'm making up this, but I'm
Yeah.
assuming it's billions of dollars that get donated into the Cancer Society to
Oh,
figure
yeah.
out how to defeat cancer
Yeah.
when it comes to like they wouldn't be getting that money if they fall.
No, they would be
No.
out of a job, which is the answer
That's
to
why.
all of the questions that you asked today. Because if we made people well and healthy, they would
Yeah.
have to be fighting another job. Although we could use some help on the nutrition side, y'all. If you want to get serious, come over to our
Yeah.
side because we spend hours with your patients. We spend
Yeah.
hours with them
Yes.
every week. Come over to our side.
Because the medication you give them's not
It's making them sick.
working.
We're a little feisty today. A little feisty.
Hey,
See, I'm rubbing off on
again,
you.
no, listen, listen. When I get fired up, it's mean I'm super passionate about something. And I'm super passionate about this because a lot of times we like to see visuals. I'm a visual person. I like to see the visualization and I see it every single day. It's not like you put me in a box and like tell me everything's fine.
Right.
If you eat this way, everybody else is doing it. Everybody's fine. We're all healthy. You're in denial. Even though it's like our economy. Like people are telling me that our economy's fine. I'm like, wait a minute. Are we not living on the same planet?
I just spent $90 for a little kid's seat worth of food. What?
Right. Like
wait.
things aren't fine. Like so
in a
in a
couple
lot
of
of
weeks
ways
they'll be finer.
I get on soapboxes on things that I'm passionate about, and this is one of the things I am passionate about when I see people constantly sick, constantly complaining about chronic health problems, and it comes down and our young people young people are getting these allergies that were never allergies before.
Right.
And so now they're all on these medications and anyway, like I see this in the world around me. And you can't tell me that this isn't happening.
No.
It's a lie. If you're trying to like
what
pull
is
an
that
over.
called? Is that called gaslighting? When they
it is
say the
gaslighting.
opposite of what is really happening. It's gaslighting.
They twist the truth.
Yeah.
And it's like
hey, we're here to answer your
anyway,
questions. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments.
We're just on fire today.
Yeah. That was the topic of the day. Hey, let's talk a little bit about Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Do we encourage our
you just jerked my soapbox away.
I just put it under the desk for a minute. Just for a minute.
I just started. Okay. Anyway, let's talk about Thanksgiving.
Yes. So we have two kinds of clients.
Yes.
We have the kind of client who is losing weight, who's doing the things, who doesn't complain, who just says, you need me to jump up and down 10 times? All right, I'll do that this week.
Yes.
And then we have the clients who say, oh, I'm just gonna go off playing this day. Just gonna
go on.
I deserve this. Oh, it's with grandma. Grandma's gonna be there, and I'll get back on the wagon. The clients who are losing weight and who are nearing, we've got, oh my gosh, I have 3 clients this week. They don't know it because of HIPAA. They don't know each other exists, but I have 3 clients this week racing to the goal of Wonderland.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know I've got bets on who's going to be first, but they're neck and neck at Wonderland. These are the clients who are like, just tell me what to do. What do I do on Thanksgiving, Coach? What do I do? Do I eat grandma's pie? What do I do? So let's talk about that a little bit.
Okay.
And of course I'm gonna talk. We'll do a side conversation on it on my food addictions because I have to. I'm a passionate food addiction.
Yeah.
Coach, which by the way, if you are interested, if you struggle with food addiction during the month of November, I'm offering an entry-level 12-step program, a support group. I open it up to the public. Typically I don't do this because it's not a cheap program that I have. It's top of the line and people are free in the food addiction program. But I'm offering just for 10 more days. It's November 20th. I'm offering a monthly subscription. You get in, you join the 12 step. It's not coaching.
Deal.
It's not coaching. It is a 12-step program. And for $25 a month.
I've been in your groups and I have been going in their groups because I'm educating myself.
Yes.
Because that's a part of
You missed a really good one last night.
Stop. I had kids. I have kids that have things.
I know.
But I love being a part of, I just sit back, like I just observe and I love I love the dynamic in that group. I love the healing process. I love the learning process. It's just even I don't know that what you're doing is a good deal. Like what
I shouldn't have done it, but you've told me that before.
I do.
And I've had failures in that. I mean, I had one person come in saying I'm on my own food program. It doesn't work.
No,
Moderation for a food addict does not work, folks.
no.
You cannot have your cake and eat it too if you're a food addict. You got to give it up and you got to say, you know what? But, depends on your goals.
Mhm.
Can you eat the crap and lose weight? 100% you can.
Yeah.
Macros are a thing. Math is a
Mhm.
thing.
Mhm.
But if you struggle with food addiction, it is not a thing.
It's
And
not gonna
so I
stay
always have
off.
to stand up for my food addict
Yeah.
folks because they have a different plan. But for Thanksgiving, for you and I, let's talk about you and I. You and I
Okay.
eat really clean. Well, we're going to eat a
Yes.
little bit differently this
I
year.
am.
Hats off to you. Hats off to you. Is there a book to understand the addict brain? Yeah. It took me 2 years to get my certification in that, Danita. Absolutely. There's hundreds and hundreds. Start with food
Yeah.
junkies. Start with
Oh,
food
that's a
junkies.
good
That's
one.
a really easy one.
Yeah.
That's the one that set me free and launched me into a path of where I ended up in helping people with
Yeah.
food addiction, food junkies.
Yeah.
Um, you and I are going to eat differently this year. But so we'll talk about that. Let's talk about
Okay.
that. You and I don't go off plan. We
No.
don't believe in cheating.
No.
If I have a cheat day, I'm a food addict. You're kind of a food addict, but not, I don't
Yeah.
know if you've ever been officially
Well, you
diagnosed or
never really
screened.
truly diagnosed me because we've never had our
We
meeting
haven't had
before.
the follow-up meeting. Yeah.
But when you say I need to speak to my food addicts out there,
Yeah.
a lot of my coaching deep down inside wants to just teach and coach
Yeah.
everybody as a food addict.
Yeah. Me
So
too.
I always promote, I say things because I know that, yeah, there's people out there that do have like this thing called willpower that
Right.
whatever that means. Um, but then in the same breath, like eventually, if you're not going to identify yourself as a food addict when you first start,
Yeah.
if you are learning about yourself, like I learned about myself, even with the keto foods, I learned that
Yeah.
I do not have control.
No.
There's
No.
no control, even on the keto foods, because
Right.
I'm telling myself, oh, they're healthy. Oh, they're clean. But
And what
then,
answers that question for you? It's the
yeah,
scale. What is the scale
yeah,
doing?
exactly.
Some of you guys who are listening to us are losing the same 5 pounds over and over. You
Yep.
lose 5, you gain 5. You lose 5, you gain 5. You're not
Yes.
gaining weight, thank goodness, because you're under control. That's how you tell.
Yes.
Now that's not the official way to tell if you're a food addict, but 1 out of 3 of our clients are food addicted.
Yes, I would definitely suggest taking your sugar free.
Mhm.
No, what you have an
The
assessment.
test, I have an assessment.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
So if you're
sugar-free
really
test.
curious, go take that. I think it's
Well, it's for
free, isn't it?
free. It's free
Yeah.
on our front kmhealthcoaching.org.
Mhm.
There's a free test on there, so you can
Yeah.
tell.
Yep.
Um, but so you and I don't cheat. All of that to say, you and I don't cheat. We don't go off plan.
We've got
There
time
is
to
no way.
talk.
I was very tempted. Mm, when the whole
What?
McDonald's thing happened
Oh.
with the
Were you
Donald,
you didn't? No.
the next morning, I wanted to go to McDonald's and I wanted to get a French fry. I didn't do it. I would have broken the internet if I did, but that's the closest I've come in solidarity to, to the whole election season. I didn't. I
You
didn't.
didn't.
I would have broken the internet and I would have had to close the company and it would have been a disaster. My head thought about it, but that's the closest you and I have come to cheating. And truly the closest we have is eating apples.
Oh, yeah.
I still haven't had
Yeah.
a banana in 8 years.
I
No.
have not had a banana either.
No.
That's one thing I've not
No.
consumed.
No.
Apples, yes,
Yep.
but it was in season.
Right.
And it
So,
was for a purpose. It was
yeah.
actually for my, what is it called? The ageless keto.
Yeah.
That's
Exactly.
where we promote those over
Yeah,
there.
absolutely. And so
Yeah.
that's as close as you and I have
Yes.
come to the line. So Thanksgiving comes. Now, as a food addict in remission, I'm in remission right now. I'm not healed. I will always be a food addict. But for Thanksgiving, I when I'm at home, I don't allow myself any keto treats. I can't. I would eat the whole bag of Lily's chocolate chips if it was here. So I don't allow myself to do that. On Thanksgiving, I would probably have, and somebody said it in the comments, make your own pie, bring it to share. Absolutely. Bring enough for
Yeah.
everybody. I bring a side that I can eat, and I eat meat. It's exactly how we do it.
Mhm.
If I have a keto treat that day and I know it's been made or I know that it's clean, I will have a piece of that, whatever pie you're making, because I'm sure it's going to be sugar free.
Mine?
I would no,
Oh,
Amanda.
I was gonna say, I'm not making pie.
Yeah. However, I would not tell Amanda that I would take any home with me. I
Right?
would have to say, no, no, thank you. That's how I handle Thanksgiving. I do not go off plan on Thanksgiving. I do not eat the stuffing. I choose not to do that. I stay on keto. Now, if I were carnivore, and you're a different story because you're medically
Mhm.
doing it. If
Mhm.
I were carnivore, I would probably advise my clients or myself, let's switch over to keto that day, because to me, enjoyment and family bonding and the idea of we get together to eat, and I know that's wrong, because they certainly don't get together to play euchre with me. So we get together to eat.
I'll let you be my partner, okay?
Can we be partners? I have a
Just
partner.
focus.
You know how hard it is for me to focus on anything right now.
I'll bring a fly swatter.
Or one of
That's
those
long enough.
training colors. Yeah.
Monica, listen.
What's Trump? What's Trump? So what I've been telling my clients this week, if I know that they're not a food addict, and we have, and even some of my food addiction clients they'll have berries. It depends on
Mm,
if they can handle it or not,
right,
right?
right, right.
Um, But I would say, okay, let's go keto that day. And then what I would tell them is, if they're carnivore, I'm like, all right, what I want you to do is I want you to do a 24-hour fast after that. And then I want you to have a nice juicy ribeye the next day and ease right back into it. Right.
Mm.
Um, so yeah.
You want to know what I'm going to do?
What are you going to do? And tell us what you're doing and why you're
Okay.
doing it, because give some
Yes.
context.
So, I think I just looked at my calendar. I'm day, oh, wait. What is today? Tuesday? I'm day 86 on dairy free carnivore.
Okay.
I have this last week, I have added some coconut cream
Mm-hmm.
and coconut oil into my diet.
Okay.
So I've been doing the coconut first because it's lower on the toxicity level.
Mm-hmm.
And that is my plan for Thanksgiving. Is I'm going to I don't even know how I'm going to do it, but in my head I have this little dessert that is playing in my head that it's going to include eggs, maybe some pumpkin
Mm-hmm.
puree, and maybe a little sweetener. It sounds like I'm making like a pumpkin quiche type of thing. I don't really know. So um, I plan on just doing that for Thanksgiving, because pumpkin is also a squash, which is also lower in the toxicity level.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm focusing on that because I'm not doing dairy, and the reason why I'm not doing dairy is because of my autoimmune
Mm-hmm.
disease, and that has been proven based off of my scalp healing,
Mm-hmm.
that the dairy has been my problem. It's been causing me inflammation, and with that inflammation is a buildup. So if you
Yeah.
were wondering, and there's not great information out there about how to heal psoriasis,
Mm-hmm.
um, but the only thing has been dairy being the problem,
Yeah.
biggest problem. I think they mentioned eggs, and I've been having eggs,
And
lots
that's
of
fine.
eggs, and
Yeah.
it's fine for me. But other than that, like I'm sticking to the plan. I'm not
Mhm.
veering off because I am focused on the metabolic part of my health right now.
Mhm.
And so if I am to add anything for Thanksgiving, it's going to be definitely all the meats, a variety of meats. I'm
Mhm.
probably going to bring a little meat platter um, with my pumpkin creation that I'm making.
Yeah. I love it.
And so then I'll be all set. And my
Could
thing
we
with
ask your
carnivore,
mother-in-law to bring something sweet since you're not?
I think I
Patty, are you
did.
listening to us?
She's on. She was
Patty,
on. I think
Patty,
we lost her.
we need to send that out to her. I feel like we are having to participate in your in your
You
lifestyle.
might. I'm making strawberries and cream. That's what I'm actually
Okay.
doing. So
That's good.
don't
That'll work.
panic.
That'll
They're like
work.
deviled eggs. I've been seeing them. Mark's been seeing them on the internet.
The
You see
strawberry
it.
ones? I'm not sure I'm up with that.
It's strawberries and cream. How could you not
On
want that?
on hard-boiled eggs?
No, it's on a strawberry. You cut them
Okay.
in half.
Okay, all right. I was
You
not
scoop
with
out the
him in the
center.
big family text last night. I was not supporting
You
his
remember
idea because
you
I was imagining that they were hard
not
deviled eggs with strawberries in them.
I mean, I'm sure that'd be fine. People make
No.
pudding with hard-boiled
No,
eggs.
that
They
would
make
not be
chocolate
fine.
but yeah. Anyway, you gotta step outside of your comfort zone, Monica.
That's all we get because you're on your little lifestyle here.
I I I ask
We all should
myself
be on your lifestyle though, in reality, because there's probably some massive inflammation happening in my
in
body.
the cheeses, absolutely.
Yeah.
Phew.
Yeah.
You think about it, and I've seen it. I mean, if you want a challenge, y'all, like, you can stay keto, but ditch the dairy. Ditch the
Yeah,
dairy,
ditch
go
the dairy.
keto,
Well,
and
that's
ditch the
probably
dairy.
holding your scales back, a lot of you, because there's a lot more dairy.
Yeah.
And what's
Yep.
surprising is a lot of people are like, I don't eat a lot of dairy. And that almost just came out of my mouth. But a little tiny cube, I mean, it takes 3 of those for an ounce. And a lot of
Yeah,
people have 10 of those
yeah,
in one sitting, and they're not being honest with how much they're eating. So we eat more than what we think.
yeah,
We really do.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially when it all adds up throughout the day. Like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I don't" when
Right.
you're thinking of a meal, yeah, it might be a little sprinkle of cheese here, but you've had heavy
Yeah.
cream in the morning, you've had I
Yeah.
mean, butter is still dairy.
Yeah. BLTs are about 5 to 700 calories extra
Yeah, yeah,
that we don't track because we don't have time,
right,
or we if it's not on the tracker, it didn't happen, and I don't have to
right,
be accountable for it,
right, right.
Um, that's a 5 to 700 calories a day.
Yeah. You know what else I've noticed is pretty much gone on
What?
me is
What?
my acne.
Oh my.
My cystic acne that would not go away. Now the
Mhm.
hormonal acne, I think that just kinda sticks around, and I could be wrong, it could be
Mhm.
a gut thing.
Right.
Um, but the hormonal acne, the cysts, the ones that just
Yeah. Just stay
never
there.
seem to go away, yeah,
So it's
it's
working.
dumb.
It's working.
It is dumb, but, holidays, they're gonna look different for me, but that's where I'm adding the coconut
Yeah.
in to add a little bit of the cream.
Yeah. So bring that
So
for the coffee bar.
mhm. Yeah, oh, yeah, I will.
Yeah.
Although it's not really creamy.
Yep.
It's, like, more
It's
like oil, but
Yeah, that's true.
I'm getting my fats in. Anyway, you
Yep.
were talking about, tracking for those
Yes.
people. What is your
I'm a
take
rat. I'm a rat. I love my
you
cheese.
just answered my question, when you were reading her question.
Oh, what were you asking?
I was talking about tracking and what
Yeah.
your opinion was about tracking on our holidays.
Yeah, I don't. I don't track on the holidays. I will put in what I had just because the habit is so important to keep of tracking and
Mm,
into your macros. But I don't put how much. I don't. I eat until I'm full. Now I am getting really good at learning how to eat so that I don't overeat. So I rely on a lot of am I full? I chew slowly on Thanksgiving.
mm,
I do that generally anyway, so I chew slowly, but no, I don't track on that. Amanda, you would love our fasting like a girl program. Because yes, there are certain times of the month that you need to have more carbs. There are certain times a month that you need less carbs. There's certain times a month where you can work out like a beast. And so check out that. It's called what's our program called?
ageless keto.
Ageless Keto. Yeah, thank you. Fasting
I
like a
have
girl was in my
had
head.
I have a lot of successful clients on that
You
that
really
have
do.
I mean, I'm so
Shout out
like
to them. My word.
they've reversed PCOS, they've got their cycles back in order.
Mhm.
Where
Yeah.
the spotting here and theirs aren't happening anymore. They're just on like they are
Yeah.
regular.
Right.
If you are, premenopause, like you might start to have a more not accurate. Yeah, you would have a better accuracy
Yeah.
on your cycle. Like, that's just
Yeah.
kind of how it goes.
Hot flashes
Hot
disappear.
flashers. Yeah, absolutely. So it is amazing program. I
Yeah.
love it. If I weren't doing carnivore right now, I would be still doing that.
Yeah.
I have. I've been able to. This is TMI. Here I am.
We
I
are
don't
live.
care. There's
We're
nobody
live.
here.
Okay.
But I was just, you were talking about the moon cycle, and I thought you were
Yeah.
weirdo for saying what women's cycle are supposed to go with the moon
The
cycle. That
moon.
is
Yeah.
bizarre. I've never.
Crazy.
And then as I was
And here we are.
tracking, here I am with the moon cycle, like spot on with the moon cycle.
It's
So,
crazy.
and I think as you do it, and it doesn't happen like right away, as
Mhm.
I'm going on this about almost 2 years now.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
it's
Basically your progesterone estrogen loves low carb, progesterone loves carbs. And so you eat different foods different times of the month to buff up and to make those hormones shine, because
yeah.
each hormone has a time where they are shining. And the problem that we've done on keto basically is we have starved those hormones that need to
Mhm.
be shining.
Yeah.
And we have really we put ourselves in a box when it comes to I have to eat this way. And when we eat based on our hormones, you're going to feel different. And
Yep.
you're going to make those hormones that were progesterone was created to calm you,
Mhm.
was created to make everything look okay, everything be okay. And we've been starving the progesterone of carbs, and we've been starving them of the fuel that they need.
Mhm.
We've been working out like a beast during the times that we need to just take it easy, and we need to calm it down. And then we've been lazy during the first 10 days of their cycle because we're like, "Oh, I'm on my period, so I shouldn't be working out." You can double your calorie burning during that time. You can double the impact of your fasting during those first 10 days. And so
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's really amazing science. I can't unsee it. I'm
Yeah.
very careful with my food addicts, of course, on
Yes.
this plan
I
because we
think
got to
there's
do things differently.
Yeah, there's definitely a way to that the certain food
Mhm.
choices for your
Mhm.
for a food addict. Like, there's
Yeah,
obviously
we don't do
probably wouldn't
mangoes.
is mangoes would probably not
Might
be
not.
ideal.
Yeah,
There's rice might
yeah.
be fine. But there's just yeah,
We have to carb them up a little bit differently.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
no tracking on Thanksgiving. I don't do that. I put it in, put turkey in. But I just eat mindfully that day. I do not do any bulletproof coffee that day.
No.
I do not do any breakfast. So I do an intermittent fast all the way until the time we eat, which sometimes
Yeah.
is 2 o'clock. But I also do not go to Thanksgiving hungry. So about 11 o'clock, I don't have my coffee that morning. I don't eat breakfast. I don't waste I use it like a bank account, my calories like a bank account. But about an hour before we go, we show up, you'd have to do this different, but I'll have a couple of pieces of string cheese or a hard boiled egg. Hard boiled eggs they don't make me
That's
full right away, but 20 minutes in, and then I'm not coming to Thanksgiving starving.
ravishing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really, really important. And
When
then
you
we have learned the bad part of having a family full of keto eaters. We have learned that you need to bring enough for everybody,
yeah.
because your stuff will be eaten first, because we make our stuff with real cream, real cheese, all of the stuff. So ours is eaten a little bit quicker than everybody else's. Or we
It
bet in
really is.
line. Say, excuse me, back off. Back off of the keto mac and cheese,
Yes.
please.
Yeah.
So, hey, you guys make a choice before you go to Thanksgiving. If you're on this journey, if you're one of our clients that are listening today, make a choice that cheating is not an option.
It's
It's not worth
not.
it. It is not worth picking up your life with your coach afterwards and saying, "Hey, I just gained 5 pounds." Not worth it. Not worth it at all. So make your mind up now. Not
I
cheating.
have a picture in my head of, somebody that is working extremely hard to, like, wall climbing, climb
Hmm.
the wall, and how hard it is to climb the wall. And then there's a ledge on the side. It might take a little bit, it might be out of the way to sit on the side. And there's maybe some, like, I don't know, candy bars there, and you're sitting there eating this candy bar, and then you fall off the cliff again. And then you have to work
Exactly.
yourself back up
Yeah.
that and start all over again. And it's like, how many times are you allowing yourself to do that?
Right. Yeah, it's not worth it. It
That's
is
not
not
worth it.
worth it. You can lose weight. Darcy and I lost 20 pounds over the holidays. You don't have to gain weight over the holidays. You can come out with a delicious, yummy. You can be satisfied. It is really important to me that my clients don't go to Thanksgiving with a Weight Watchers meal. It
Right.
is really important to me that right now, this week, their assignment in all of our sessions has been go practice a dish, because you don't want to. Somebody put it in the comments, taste it first before taking it anywhere. Yes. And
It's so
especially if you're
true.
Coach Monica, my word, I have destroyed so many items
Oh.
or said, well, that needs some tweaking.
Yes.
So yeah,
I've been having some of
practice,
my clients pre-make some things
pre-make.
so
Yes.
that they're having it now, but then they know,
Yeah.
like, is this truly gonna satisfy my
Yeah.
Thanksgiving
Yeah. One
tradition?
of our brilliant folks in our 12-step program for food addiction said last night, when you go to holiday events, when you go to grandma's house, or you go to Aunt Sally's house, or you go to these things, sometimes you are transported to back when you're 10, and it becomes emotional, and it becomes either good or bad. He was saying it in the aspect of, maybe I wasn't good enough when I was 10. And when you're
Right.
transported back to these family deals, especially if politics are involved, or it can be very, very stressful, and you can be transported back to where you're 10 years old. And that could be good or bad. That could be, I was never good enough for grandma. And so grandma made me this pie, or in our case, I was always the old one, and so I had to lead the way, and it can be very, very emotional. And so never underestimate the power of emotions when it comes to family events
Yeah.
and falling off the be strong before you go. You are transforming your life right now. There is no grandma's pie that is worth going backwards. There's no pie is worth that, right?
Yeah.
So
So true.
we've been chatting an hour, and
Mhm.
time to wrap up this.
Hey,
We already wrapped it up, actually.
I was gonna say, for not having a plan, but we did have a plan.
We had a plan. We had a
We had
direction.
we had a direction.
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
like, minus the fact that you took my soapbox away, everything's fine.
I did take it away. Yeah, I did. But it was
I
only because it was a squirrel moment. It wasn't personal. It was just squirrel moment.
I'm gonna take it personal.
Hey, we
I'm
had a
not.
podcast drop this morning. Have
Hey,
you
which one
all?
was that?
I don't know.
I was trying to look for it, and then it didn't update for me.
It didn't.
Mm-mm.
And yeah, I have no idea. That makes me curious as to which one dropped today. I think it was the beginning of our 2-part series about habit building. That
Oh,
was the
that was a good
intent.
one.
Yeah, that was the intent anyway. And
Mhm.
now I'm kind of doubting myself that maybe I scheduled it wrong. Um,
I
nope.
mean,
Yep. How to stay on plan on Thanksgiving. That is
oh,
the one today that just dropped.
but
But it
look at
hasn't
that.
dropped yet. It has not dropped
I
yet.
noticed that.
Which is just making me wonder why it didn't drop. It may be pointed to 6 p.m. I've done that in the past.
I was gonna say
I
some
have
of
done
them all
that.
drop at the same time. Like, I noticed that I get an
6 a.m.
upload.
Yep.
Mhm. I don't know. So
11:19 at 9:58 p.m. So I'm going in there right now, and
drop it.
we are gonna adapt that one
So
to.
go and check
Uh,
out our podcast. We kind of
I'm gonna make it
hit
drop in
on it.
5 minutes.
Okay.
All
Uh,
right.
Yeah, we kind of talked
Otherwise, it's
about
going to
it, but
drop at 9:59 p.m. tonight. And that's not what we want. So, hey, it
no.
just dropped. It just dropped at 12:05. So, in 5 minutes, how to eat at Thanksgiving is on the books. I'm glad we
Yeah,
looked at that.
absolutely.
All right, guys. We love you. We're here every Tuesday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you need help, if you are frustrated, if you struggle with food addiction, go to our website, kmhealthcoaching.org. Go check us out and ask for help. Ask for help,
Yeah.
because there is so much hope, and there's healing. And you don't have to be on the backside of January 1st. You can get ahead of it. All right. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Bye.
Bye. Monica here. Guess what? If you're fed up with feeling stuck in your battle with weight or food, I've got something just for you. Check out our free Facebook groups. Over at Food Addiction and Recovery, I'm over there waiting for you. We're going to walk this journey together. It's about getting real, sharing our stories, and lifting each other up. We're in this together every step of the way. And if you're curious about changing your life with keto, the Weight Loss Project is where you want to be. Coach Darcy is amazing. And together, we're not just talking about losing weight. We're talking about finding a happier, healthier you. So, what do you say? Are you ready to join us? The links are in the show notes below, and I'm telling you, this is more than an invite. It is the start of